want to tell the people?
Here's our greenhouse here. We built it ourselves. And here's our apple trees.
Remember, we didn't do it ourselves. We did it with God's help, right?
With Judge's help. And here's our greenhouse. And that's our other pool. And these are apple trees. We planted them. And here's our greenhouse. Here's our greenhouse we already started. And here's our chickens, and there's Miranda.
Shalom and blessings to everybody watching. We have done an amazing thing with God's help. It is so beautiful. So our update is our hoop house is completely ready for the PVC channels to strap the plastic down. And Elohim willing, we'll get the plastic done that we need to get done, plastic on today. Today's relatively not a windy day, so maybe we'll get a chance to. But I'll give you a little bit of an update. So here we go. We found these, we got these two windows from a friend down the street like a few years back. And they were just sitting in the barn up top in the rafters for, 2 years or so like that. And we found a use for them right now. And then the majority of the lumber we spent, now lumber's more expensive, so we bought 30 2x4s, 20 2x4 8s, and 10 2x4 10s, and they were I think we paid like $200 for the whole thing, for all of that lumber. And then we just got some screws and a couple of brackets and stuff. But we ended up making a ramp out of the existing piece that was above this right here, and from that other one in the back. So we ended up making this cool ramp thing so that we could get the tractor in and out of over it. Maybe we might cut it, but I think we're just gonna leave it for structural integrity. And I don't even know how long this will hold up, because it's one of those headboards that support, and they're just glued. It's plywood glued together pretty much. But this is the structure of it, our facing wall, and then we did the sides, put those together. And let me just give you a closer look at kind of what we did. We got those little brackets. We got 2-inch ones. We could have went with smaller ones, but we went with 2-inch. It was just a bad purchasing decision. Well, not bad, it still works, but we could have gotten the smaller ones. So I recommend, if you're doing it, you get the small ones. So that works. So then we made this opening in the back 6 foot width, so that we can get the big tractor in. And if we ever, say this winter, if we don't use up all of this space in the back, we can at least put a bale or two, or a few big bales, like the round bales that are in there, in that barn thing right there. We got 6 of them in there to keep them dry. So if we could maybe put a few in here, that'd be great, if we're not reusing the spot. So we could keep it nice and dry and keep it from like molding and stuff. So we did that, and then all of the smaller sections, we ended up just taking those wall tile things, the wall ties, whatever those are called, and we strapped those in to keep the boards together, and it's holding really well. So that is essentially our setup for our hoop house. Now off to the barn again, and we're gonna finish making the channels. We made a nice jig for the thing, which I'll show you right now. So this is the jig we made. It's 5 2x4 10s, because the width of those 3/4 inch thin wall tubings are 3/4. So what we did, we made a space just big enough to put the pipe in there, and this space and this space are perfectly measured to get every single time. So this one will go this way for one side of the cut, and then when we get to this side of the cut, on this side, it'll cut the other part. So it's been working relatively good. This was a way to be, because we got 30 to cut. So this is a way to minimize the amount of time that it would take to cut all this, either with an angle grinder, which is very possible. You just mark the line really nice and straight. It'll take a little longer, but it'll get the job done just as much as this would. So we're just gonna go with this, since we had the boards, and all this is sitting is on that board that we have on the front part of the front and back end walls of the hoop house. So we got all this, and then we just blow this out with air every single time. So we got a lot to cut, but Elohim willing, we'll get everything done we need to get done today. So we'll get this done. Then once we get that done, we got a few that we've already completed. So here's what they look like. So we got that right there. See that? So we ended up cutting that, and that's what it comes out to. And then it's flexible because it's thin, so it allows the 1/2 inch 40, I think it's like 40 rated PVC pipe, the thicker walled ones, just snap in there, and they will snap the plastic like you saw in that little clip that I showed you. So there's that. This one's a little narrower, but I think it'll work just as fine. But relatively, this is the whole point of it. So we got 4 here, and then we got, all 30 to do. And then once we get that done, we have drywall screws. And then we got these cheapest drywall screws you could find at Lowe's or anywhere. It's just 1.25 inches and just basic drywall screws. So I got the biggest box just so that we can mount all of these PVC pipes to the walls so that we can start strapping this plastic down. So, all right, let's keep going. our Father in heaven. It is amazing. We are officially ready for greenhouse plastic. So, I'll show you a little bit about what we have done. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about what we did. Alright, well, like I said, we took 3/4 inch thin-walled PVC, right? It's a little flexible, as you can see. We cut it, as you saw on that clip, and we just bolted it in. And it looks like it's holding relatively good. So I did that all the way around, or we did that all the way around, and along the side. So we'll see how well this stuff holds up. I just saw one video on YouTube of a guy that was explaining how to do it, but there wasn't any detail involved on how he did it. It was just, he just said what the two types of plastic, the PVCs that he used, and said to cut it a little bit before, like not half, but like 1/4 of the pipe. So, and that's exactly what we did. But you know, the jig we had to work with, like one of those saws doesn't work good if you have plastic, one of those big teeth saws. It was just horrible. So we ended up going with an angle grinder, and that ended up working really well. That's what I recommend, an angle grinder. But yeah, so next video is going to be the plastic. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much. May the Father bless you and your families just as much as he blesses mine. The strength that he gives me, I hope and pray that he gives you too. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, everything to fully lean on him and just live for him. Yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.